Slam Sector contains levels of brain rot that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone. Ryan ruined the stream.
No, I told you what was wrong.
No, I hit the go live button and then it started doing a little spinny and then it didn't actually go live.
It's Ryan's fault that I have two monsters open.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go into cardiac arrest like on stream?
Well, we have to open a can at the sort of stream, right? So I committed to the bit.
I have 911 already dialed. What's your address?
Yeah, go ahead and dox yourself.
Anyway.
I had like 4 jokes to make, and all of them involved doxing someone, so I'm not going to do that.
Were you going to say all of our addresses? Is that what it was? Was that the 4 jokes?
I remember... Well, I was going to say my parents' home address.
Oh, yeah, go dox your parents. Go for it, yeah. While you're at it, I'm going to need your social security number and the cute little digits on your credit card.
1.
Okay. That's it.
Hey, so Ryan, you eat paint.
Yeah, you were talking about eating paint before we went live.
Yeah. I was kind of talking about that a little bit. I didn't.
Ryan, you eat paint.
The live stream, but
no, you were talking about it on the live. Well, we were talking about it on what we thought was the live stream. What do you mean?
Yeah. That was like the test run. That was like okay, we tried.
Yeah, we were just we were practicing. It was a practice.
So yeah, I was saying I've probably eaten a lot of paint today because I've been painting. And I'm a brush licker.
You're a brush licker, yeah.
That's the gesture for brush licking.
And Zach and Matt find us deplorable for licking our brushes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like it reflects on you as a person so much as it reflects on you as an ontological human.
Well, that depends.
Hey, what does that word mean?
It means you're an animal.
Oh, correct.
Animal.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
Right. Now that we've established that.
It's a Wednesday. Welcome back to After Dark, everybody. Today's gonna be kind of laid back. We're just gonna be shooting the shit, talking about our dream army refreshes. But I kind of want to open the stream with a little bit of a question that I found on the Warhammer subreddit. So, is buying Warhammer the same as buying a Chanel bag, but for miniatures wargaming? Overpriced miniatures and overpriced bags.
No.
No? Okay.
I'm gonna say no also, and I'll explain.
Okay, explain.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
I will explain.
You're going to say yes. So I think that buying Forge World is the same as buying an overpriced Chanel bag.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Warhammer is necessary therein for the hobby. Yes, it's on the upper end of the miniature wargaming hobby, but if you want to play Warhammer, you have to buy a Warhammer, right? Or buy knockoff Warhammer, which people buy knockoff purses too. Buying Forge World, for example, being an asshole like me and buying a Forge World, what's the Thousand Suns Dreadnought called that I can never remember the fucking name of? Buying that to run as a Hellbrute is like buying an
You're talking
expensive
about the Thanatar automata thingy?
No, not the Thanatar. Oh man, I love this thing and I can't remember
the Contemptor that's like the Thousand Suns.
With the Kopeshes,
Contemptor maybe or something like that.
No. It's Anyway, Ryan, what's your reasoning here? Similar?
It's not the same for one reason. Buying a Chanel handbag does not cultivate any skills. Buying Warhammer miniatures provides fuel for your hobby. Cultivates artistic expression, manual dexterity. It is a Zen activity that calms your mental state. So it is a productive activity for you as a person to buy Warhammer 40,000 miniatures. Buying a Chanel bag is just conspicuous consumerism at its worst, and So yeah.
Yeah, Warhammer's not a consumerist hobby at all, for sure.
No, it's all about self-betterment. Warhammer's a self-betterment program.
I'm gonna start telling my therapist that I buy Warhammer because it makes my brain better.
Warhammer's my therapy. It gives me a moments of meditation, and the whole paint eating thing. There'll probably be like a documentary on that 20 years from now. But
talking about how eating acrylic paint is good for you, actually.
Ultimately, I agree.
of
I agree with
microplastics.
Ryan that Warhammer is therapy. I disagree with Ryan in the disparagement of other people's hobbies, such as fashion or social climbing, which also require different skills and.
See, I don't do social climbing. I just do social bouldering.
Sure.
I don't know what that means, but figure it out.
Zach, what do you think? You say it is like buying a Chanel bag.
Yeah.
In what way?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If this were actually self-improving me, I would be improved. Because believe it or not, I have bought several Hammer figurines.
Wait, you?
I'm still a crap painter. I'm still a poor player. I'm still get glue all over all of my fingers when I'm assembling them, even if I'm only using 2 or 3 fingers at a time. So there's no self-improvement involved.
Well, it's not about the hobby improvement. It's about your mental well-being improvement. You don't go to therapy to get better at
definitely
therapy.
none of that.
You know,
It's true.
I have some legitimate Warhammer things, and I show them off, and I have some projects that I've done myself, some 3D printing, and I show that, like, if I were making my own purse, I would be like, hey, check out this bag I made. Also, I have this legit bag. Here's my collection. It parallels pretty neatly for me.
Skill issue.
Jesus Christ. You know, Sean,
that was
you said something interesting about you were talking about the like buying knockoff handbags and like knockoff miniatures, and like the more I think about it, that's like kind of reversed in Warhammer, right? Because like buying a knockoff handbag, people find out about it and they're like, that's like a knock against you as a person. Like you're shitty, but you buy like a knockoff Warhammer miniature and it's like, if it looks like the real thing, hell yeah, brother. It's like a reverse status symbol.
Or like, yeah, it's a marker of rebellion, I guess. But I think that's probably true in some fashion circles as well, right? Like if you can get a decent handbag or even a decent, like something that's imitation or in the style of, but is cheaper, and you're achieving the same look for cheaper. Like, I don't know. I think that's there's certain circles that would appreciate that in the same way.
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah.
But it's certainly interesting. Speaking of consumerism, Jordan, what are we doing today?
We're consuming. We're not consuming. We're talking about what we would like to consume in the future. I'm consuming water.
Are we going to be like big maybe fish that are known for consuming things?
Are you trying to make a subtle whale reference to make me uncomfortable?
The fish are mammals, not whale. Or whales are mammals, not fish.
Right. Yeah, but I wasn't expecting.
And whales eat the bones into sand, so.
Yeah, they grind the bones in the sand. I was talking about, I don't know, like sharks.
No. We're not going there. No.
I can't remember the pun.
We're not making a Kark tank.
Kark tank.
Kark tank. Jordan said it.
Kark tank.
Welcome to Kark tank. Okay. So today, each of us are going to go, oh my God, I dropped my dreadnought.
I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. Don't make me do that.
I'm not going to drop my dreadnought.
He lost his hands.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
They weren't glued on very well.
It's not a good start to the Kark tank.
No. Today we're going to be pitching to our fellow Karks. Jordan's going to kill me. Our army refreshes.
How do you spell Carcharodon? Am I spelling it right?
Carcharodon.
Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna be talking about our dream army refreshes for armies that we love and play and stuff. So the rules are we're gonna talk about 2 units from said army that we want to see get an update as far as like models go, and then talk about one new unit that we would like to add. And this is like, Space Wolves just had their big refresh announced, and they've got the new Blood Claws and the new Grey Hunters, and then they're also adding the like Head Takers or whatever they were called. I forgot. But those guys look really cool. So in a similar vein, we're gonna be talking about that with our armies that we play. And Sean, I know you said you had some very thoughtful responses to this. So what do you got?
Yeah. So here's my question: are we doing one army, or are we doing like
if you got multiple armies that you can rattle off just like off the cuff, we can we'll go in a circle. So you do one army and we'll move on.
I wasn't trying to impress Senpai, so I only have one.
Well, Ryan, that's fine. You can comment on my second one or my third one, whichever order I go in.
Because it's
you
Templars.
also play this army. So I mean, I'll start with Death Watch because that's sort of my
You're the Death Watch guy.
My first love. I'm the Death Watch guy. It's simple. The refreshes. We need a new Watchmaster, and we need a new Death Watch Veterans kit.
Yeah.
The Watchmaster kit is very good. I don't like that it's monopose. I don't like that it's just guy standing there with stick. I love the kit overall. He's too small, right? As everything else has gotten updated in Space Marines, he needs an update just to be bigger, a little more dynamic.
He's just kind of like standing there, right? Like with the spear.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a static pose.
I know a lot of Death Watch. Like the thing that makes this hard for Death Watch is a lot of Death Watch players like a lot of kit bashing. So a lot of Death Watch players have their own kit bashed Watchmaster.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with mine. I love mine, but I would love also like a good actual kit for it. Veterans, I think, are the obvious one. I don't want to change like the options that are available to veterans, and that would be my fear with refreshing the kit. You would get sort of that Primaris treatment where a lot
what's
of
in
units
the box?
when they get. Yeah, well, I'm fine with what's in the box because that's what they have now, and the kit's still really interesting and really good. But they'll just lose box options, is what I'm afraid of.
No more frag cannons or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm more worried, I guess, about the combi weapons and the I don't know. I'd be worried about losing some of the stuff, but I'm not a fan of Mark 8 armor. And that kit is Mark 8 armor. I'd rather Mark 7 or Mark 10. And I don't really care which. Preferably like the Stern Guard hybrid between the two is what I would really want. But
okay.
Yeah, Mark 8 armor just rubs me the wrong way. As far as new models, there's only one obvious answer for Death Watch, and it's not a very obvious answer unless you know like a little bit of Death Watch background. So the Watchmaster is actually based on an older unit, and it was didn't have game rules, but like in lore unit called the Death Watch Keeper.
Oh yeah,
and the Keeper, so the Keeper's job in the Black Fortress is to guard the Black Vault where they hold all the Xenos technology and all the like deep, dirty secrets of the Death Watch. I think that would be a sick model, sick standalone model, or even a 3-man unit like the Blade Guard. Give them access to all the relic options. Give them a bunch of weirdo war gear similar to the Xenophase Blade, but like start branching out to some other stuff. And then like if it's a standalone unit, if it's a standalone model, it could be similar to the like Emperor's Champion or the Judiciar. Mm-hmm. And then if it's gonna be a 3-man unit, I'd make it like Custodies or like a 3-man Custody unit or like a Blade Guard veteran unit. But yeah, I think that's the obvious one. If it's a standalone unit, the other thing you can do is give it a Vect role, like a Vect ability, shut down some stratagems or increase the cost of stratagems. Because in lore, they kind of function to like capture HVTs and stuff like that. So could be a good use of that unit.
Interesting. Yeah, that could be very cool. Zach?
All right.
You talking about what the Death Watch are gonna kill?
Yeah. So this is a tough one because I kind of already got my wish, which was more Kroot and more interesting Kroot. The new Kroot models are great. They have kind of the the sculpt quality of monopose, but they're not actually monopose. Like you can swap out tons of different arms and things on the Crew Carnivores. So definitely a big fan. I want to see more. Like there's only one pose for the Crudox Rider.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 Rampagers, and you're probably going to want to take 6, so you're going to have duplicates. So, those are quibbles. I'm just thrilled they got a refresh, though, so I'm not going to quibble too hard. I think that, honestly, I want to see new Crisis suits. And that's a little weird to say, but when Tau first started, they were cassette punk. So for those of you who are quite young, like Jordan,
whoa, hold on.
This is kind of like early.
First of all, what's a cassette?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Jordan, a video cassette or a music cassette.
Yeah, I should have brought one up here to show. I have some somewhere. I have floppies too, floppy disks.
I still have my Walkman.
I didn't know they made them floppy.
You can't just throw the word floppy around anymore.
Ironically, they're not floppy.
They're floppy. The OG ones were.
Yeah. The OG ones were.
I actually have a bunch of them.
Bear.
Yeah,
that's what Sticky Bear was on.
I had a racing game on 5 1/4. Those were fun. Those 5 1/4-inch discs. Anyway, so like the original Crisis suits, the sculpts were really simple, and they're basically like stick figures. You had a bent arm that you could glue on in whatever orientation. You had a straight arm you could glue on in whatever orientation. But they did update it, and they're more posable now, but there's still this kind of cassette punk, and the aesthetic of the Tau has moved a little bit away from like the boxes and triangles with rounded corners that kind of defines cassette punk, and into like the smoother, sleeker sort of
like the Ghost Keel Gundam and stuff like that.
Like the Ghost Keel, like Farsight's new suit is an experimental version of the Cold Star. The new commander suits, the Cold Star, the Enforcer, are way smoother and sleeker than they used to be, even the non-experimental versions. And the Crisis suits, the XV8s, have like they're more posable. The models are higher quality than when they originally came out, but the aesthetic has not kept up with the commander suits, hasn't kept up with the Ghost Keel or the Riptide, which is also a fairly old suit, but it looks new. It's the newer aesthetic. So yeah, I would like to see just a little more unity there, or maybe go like harder into the cassette punk. You know what? We have sleek commanders leading cassette Crisis suits, but they're kind of in between right now, and they need to pick one or the other.
Okay, yeah, makes sense to me.
I want to see a Crude suit.
Crude suit,
yes.
A Crisis suit there's a like. Not a well put together one, like it's like low grade material, but it's like they give them melee weapons in a big suit and they send them out to be a buffer,
like cobbled together from pieces of old ones.
This is getting close to my conspiracy theory about the Kroot and Tau lore, which is that the reason that the Tau haven't been successfully corrupted by chaos is because the Kroot believe that the Tau are being honest. Even if they're not right all the time, they're honest about it. And the Kroot have been eating orcs for like 10,000 years, and so they have like a low-grade version of that belief field, and their belief in the Tau has been keeping the Tau free of chaos. And anyway, I think that's a fun idea, even though it's never going to be canon. There is a 3D modeler called Felix the Shaper. Are we allowed to shout out people? A 3D modeler called Felix the Shaper on Cults 3D.
I like that you don't even wait for an answer. Fuck yeah.
I get it.
How much is he paying you?
He makes these like Kroot proxies for Tau stuff. For non-Tau stuff. So there's like a Layman Russ tank that is a Narlock with that stuff. Yeah. It's so fun.
Look at that fucking thing.
I like the idea of I like the orc Kroot idea.
Yeah, because they are like they've been eating orcs for so long, they're a little bit orky.
I like the idea that they've gotten so many human. I forgot what the word for them was, but like human citizens, people have joined them. They're human. That they've started to manifest the greater good. I'm just imagining like these tower, like what is happening? No, 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 no! Stop it!
This is like barely different from the actual Ridge Runner.
But that's good, right? That's what I kind of.
Oh wait, it's a Kroot stealer cult.
Yeah, it's a Kroot.
Oh,
yeah,
it's Kroot stealer cult.
Yeah, you can buy the files or the models, I think,
because he's got that little symbol on the side of it.
Yeah, don't worry, Jordan. You don't need to.
Oh,
make
that's good. That symbol's good.
Kroot stealer cult.
I already have. I can't start another GSC army because the second I start another GSC army, that's actually 3 more armies.
Okay,
I could be wrong. Those wheels might be a direct rip from a Unreal Tournament vehicle. I could be wrong though. There's like that car that had the articulated wheels.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
It's very.
if you actually recognize that, I'm gonna scream.
Like, I remember. I have so many apples in my brain, Jordan. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Isn't that a kid? You got apples in the brain.
No, that's a shot at Jordan over there.
It's not a shot. I said I'm sorry.
You said he was sorry.
Jordan can't picture apples.
Oh, I know.
He's never seen an apple. Doesn't know what they look like.
I think he's seen one.
Zach, how do you feel? What?
Is it this one?
We got...
No.
Did you ever play the game Pariah? I think it was on the Source Engine, or maybe it was a competitor to the Source Engine.
I don't know.
It was Unreal Tournament 2003.
Sorry, Sean, what were you asking?
2004?
Well, okay, so Crisis Suits is your refresh.
Mm-hmm.
What's your new model?
That's a hard one.
New Crisis Suits?
I want the Ravarna back. I want the Yavara back, the Riptide variants, the Forge World ones.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, for like a new model, I would say I kind of like the idea of an Earthcast engineer plus drones squad.
Oh, that's rad as hell.
Moving around, lone op, D3 wounds to suits with a wound value above 12 or something, or whatever, something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. It would make sense. It fits the lore. It's kind of the Tau style, is you don't give them a gun. You put them in there. I also would like an ethereal duelist.
Oh, okay.
Which
cool.
We used to have only named characters, but ethereals, like when they can't decide amongst themselves what to do, they just fight about it. Like 1v1, ethereals are no slouches. Especially compared to like a human. They keep that fighting inside. They don't let the other cats know about it, but like they kill each other over policy decisions if necessary. And we had a really cool character called On Shi, who was sent to slap some sense into Farsight, and he got waylaid by the Dark Eldar, and we had like a short story of him tearing up the fighting pits of Komorra, and then they got rid of his model and he disappeared. But I think an ethereal that's not just leading with a staff, but that's leading with a blade would be cool. Like On Shi used to do, because in 9th edition and 8th edition and so on, he was an attachable, or he was a character that could be bodyguarded. So
interesting.
Yeah, I would Earthcast engineering squad and or duelist ethereal.
Now, are there any auxiliary like races from the lore that aren't on the tabletop that you think would be cool?
All of them, yes.
Great. Rad.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Okay. Good job. So
I want Tau Space Marines.
Yeah. No. That people would complain even more about Tau than they
No. I mean, like the weirdo, fucked up Space Marines that the Tau tried to make.
This is what Ryan was talking about, by the way.
Yeah.
I think those were just for like
Different.
training against. They
Sure.
weren't
It's
for like
pretty-
deploying, but that is cool. Yeah, that's close. I want to see the Nikasar. I mean, that's kind of everybody's answer for like Tau fans. The Nikasar.
What are those?
They're basically like 6-armed, I think, space polar bears that are psychic and float.
Oh, the psychic bears.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
got me. I'm in.
So just like back when we had a psychic phase, everyone was like, "Oh, we should have a Nikasar model so that we can try and deny smites and things, deny the witch," which would be cool. I think that there aren't enough things that they could do that's more like, yeah, those
What the
guys.
fuck?
What is this?
They're like, it's a kit bash model. It's looks like a Guardian, no, a pulse accelerator drone, but yeah, it's rad.
What about human auxiliaries?
I think giving us a human bits set to add to Fire Warriors is a great idea. Don't know why they haven't done it. Just like an
Oh.
upgrade kit.
Not an upgrade kit for the guards, not an upgrade kit for the Imperial Guard sprue, but an upgrade kit for the Fire Warriors. That's interesting.
Yeah.
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 I like
I
that.
mean, just
Okay.
like different.
Because it would be humans wearing that armor, right? Like it wouldn't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
or
back
like
in-
just different legs.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they had an article in the White Dwarf when Tau first came out about making human auxiliaries, and they gave rules for them. And they're basically guardsmen. They still had las guns, but they just took the Cadians, swapped the torso with the
Mhm.
Tau torso, and called it a day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or something like 9 humans and 1 Tau Shasui. One lieutenant, something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Alpha Omega was talking about potentially some like close combat melee variant of the crisis suit.
There used to be something called the Hazard Suit, which was basically like a short-range weapons crisis suit. Now, all crisis suits are short-range weapons crisis suits because everyone hates Tau. But yeah, so like they were actually slightly larger, slightly bulkier than the crisis suits, and they had shorter-range weapons, but they had like 2 twin-linked weapons, so they would have like 4 barrels. Yeah, there we go. And there was a named character in one. I think that aesthetic doesn't fit anymore. Like that was a direction they could have gone. There he is. Yeah, the general.
Oh,
That was a direction they could have gone with the Tau style, and they decided not to, which is fine. That they made a decision, and so the visuals of the hazard suits don't fit anymore. But the hazard suits would be cool. They're like when we were playing boarding action, like that's in lore. That's what the hazard suits were designed for. Is like boarding ships. But they already decided that that's what crisis suits do now, is they have short range guns and they fit places. So I guess this is wishful thinking. Yeah, I think hazard suits would be cool. I liked the idea of like you plug a hole in a fortification with 3 hazard suits and they just don't move, kind of thing.
how about instead of a Riptide, you get a Rip Saw, and it's just a melee variant of the Riptide?
The Avara is kind of that, except instead of a saw, it has a flamethrower, or like 3 flamethrowers glued together. But yeah, I mean that would be cool, but it doesn't make sense for.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, then again, this is Warhammer, but like, what would it fight?
Who cares?
Like, I guess it could fight tanks. I mean, you
Yeah.
just sort of like instead of an Onager gauntlet, you have a Ripsaw, a Riptide with a big saw.
Throw it at a tank.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, okay. I'll take one of those too. Yeah.
All right. Ryan, what do you got?
All right, I'm gonna talk about Dark Eldar.
They're called Drukhari now. Please.
Get your card.
The real connoisseurs call them Deldar or Drooks. Gotta have
You
at least
can't say
3,000
that.
points
Sounds
of
like
them.
a slur.
I can say that I own 3,000 points of them. Yeah. So in general, I like. What was
Does that make it
face?
worse?
That makes it worse.
Does it make it worse?
I own them. I can call them whatever I
Ow,
want.
They're models. You know what I mean? They're my biggest army. They're my biggest loyalty. That's fine. All right. Yeah, bro. Me. Anyway, I love most of their range. It would be nice though if you could buy their whole range. Because refresh, the first things that have to be refreshed are Grotesques, Court of the Archon, and Beastmaster and all his beasties. Because they just don't exist right now. You just can't.
I mean, there's a very real chance, and it's looking more and more likely that there's a Drukhari refresh like on the horizon.
I've heard
like this edition.
About that. I don't want to get too
excited. They are not even on the roadmap though. So
yeah, I feel like it's a ways off if it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that one Dark Eldar model leak which looked like a Malice.
Yeah, Lady Malice. Yeah,
Lady Malice with Poison Tongue, which would be cool. So I mean, we might
but that sprue. So that sprue was marked 2023.
Yeah.
So the rumor that I was seeing was that model was supposed to get released with all of the like boarding action stuff at the end of last edition, and then they just never released it.
Well, they did the Drukhari kill team, right? Who was that?
They did the Mandrakes.
The Archon.
Mandrakes.
Oh, that one.
Alpha Mega says, oh yeah, there's Mandrakes too. Which the new Mandrakes are awesome. Alpha Mega says Court is going to Legends.
Do we know that?
Wow, what's your source for that? Speculation. I haven't heard anything about that. But yeah, so Grotesques, because the old Grotesques were a little rough.
Yeah,
they would say they were grotesques.
They were a little too grotesque. When I looked at the old Grotesques, I could just see somebody being given the task of like sculpting them, and they're like, make him kind of like Frankenstein's monster, but like not exactly like,
but worse,
different. And they got too stuck on Frankenstein's monster. I just never liked them. RTLW makes some ones that match the current racks really well, but actually look cool. I have 3 of them. Unfortunately, I can't take them to like GW events. But yeah, so Grotesques, if you update the Grotesques, you probably got to update the racks too. Maybe
talking about like this guy?
Yeah, I just do not like those guys. Their feet are too big or something. I don't know. They just look weird.
They got Rat Ogre
Borderlands
vibes.
bulgy kind of vibe.
Yeah,
that too.
Like pull up the RTLW ones if you can find them.
Oh my god, are we just shouting out so many third party? I'm just.
RTLW does great stuff. Anyway,
RTLW does great stuff.
I would love to see updated homunculus covens, essentially. Updated Cabalites and Witches would be cool, but the current
they don't really
models
need them. They're fine.
Yeah, the current models are old, kind of old, but I think they're okay. Yeah, those guys are awesome. Very high quality models, by the way. Check out RTLW.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
Maybe I can't remember.
Guys, this stream brought to you by RTLW.
No, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
If they send me like just one miniature, I'll be happy.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, I like the new or the current Dark Eldar models. Why do you have Dark Eldar?
What are you talking about, Ryan?
Dark Eldar.
Huh?
Do you have a Dark Eldar army this whole time and you haven't told me?
Why do you have Dark Eldar?
Someone's got to finish Dark Eldar for the channel.
Oh my god! You guys talking about shade throwing? All right, I'll accept it.
I have this one Dark Eldar guy from a Dark Eldar kill team I was going to build years ago, and that's it.
I guess I'm gonna be painting more after my Emperor's Children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Oh no, Ryan!
Please don't.
Look, I'm getting faster. I got my quad done.
You got your quad done.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You know what I would like to see refreshed is y'all's attitudes. How about that?
So here's the thing, right? I gave Ryan a little bit of a chastisement at the narrative, and then he finished his units, and they look bitchin'. You guys this week gave Ryan some motivation towards Quar, and he finished Quar in a week. So I figured we'll give Ryan a little.
That's not really that big of a feat.
Give Ryan a little Deldar poking.
This doesn't need to become a trend.
Deldar like poking.
My balls.
Deldar love poking.
Deldar like ball busting.
They do. But
it's not June yet. I can still be mean to you.
I have a question. Like, whatever happened to 50% kinder to Ryan?
For the second half of the year, I won't be mean to you.
Half of the year will be.
By then, you'll have bullied me into painting everything. You won't be anything to.
Oh no!
I see your strategy.
Oh, that's awful.
Anyway, back to the topic. What was I saying? Yeah, update the homunculus covens. I think it'd be cool if the Beastmaster was made more of like an army leader, to be kind of like the weird cult, like because Scourges aren't really part of cabals necessarily. They're like, they have their little weird nests and they turn themselves into birds up there. And the Beastmaster's kind of in that same vein, I want to say. It'd be cool to see him as like more of a character. Question?
Yeah, so
Sean?
I have as a Deldar player, I obviously know what a Beastmaster is and does, but let's say I wasn't. What's the Beastmaster, and would he have one of those cool Umber Hulks?
He could. I mean,
Cool,
I can't think of the real name now because you said Umber Hulk. But yeah, so
They're
he's a
Umber
guy.
Hulks. We're just gonna call them Umber Hulks.
He's a guy who'd ride around on a hoverboard with like a whip. Oh yeah, there you go. And he usually had like Chimera, which are like weird warp monsters. I can't remember if he had the like sightless guys.
The Urgols?
The Urgols. I can't remember if you could take Urgols with him. His rules have changed a bunch.
That guy's rad.
He's like
I want to refresh that guy. That guy's fucking sick.
Yeah. The Skyboard Hellions look pretty good now too, so him being refreshed to like be on their level and like potentially be a character that could go inside of a Hellion unit would be really cool. What was I gonna say? Okay, in terms of like new units, those
guys.
I've thought that it'd be cool to have Castigators, which is like a very obscure Dark Eldar reference to like Wraith Lords that have been corrupted, that Vect had to like defend Kamara. It's a little bit of like a little bit too elite maybe for all the Cabals to have, but aside from that, Vect himself would be awesome. If we got the Dais of Destruction back, like dude cruising around in his big chair.
One that had naked ladies on it?
They weren't naked. They had like barbarian.
Pretty sure they were naked.
On. They were not naked. They had cloth bikinis. Well, the Eldar might have been topless. The Sister of Battle was explicitly not topless, and she was also picking her handcuffs. If you looked closely, they had a White Dwarf article where they pointed that out.
Nice.
But yeah, the Dice Destruction would be cool. I think it'd be cool if there was like a version of the Venom that wasn't a transport, that was more like a Viper from Eldar. Had like gun options for a turret. And that'd be an easy kit for them to make a new unit with.
Yeah.
Just add a couple of bits to the back of the Venom.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, because they don't really have a
any
tank
refresh
today.
would be cool. They have Raiders and Ravagers. Ravagers is the closest thing to a tank. Really, the Void Raven's their best tank.
That's sad.
It's the only thing that has a weapon that has a strength higher than 10.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Y'all don't have like a las cannon equivalent?
Wait, Dark Lances are 12, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought you guys
It's the only thing that has a weapon that's higher than 12. Like a real tank buster, the Void Lance. Which is good against like I think some Knights and Land Raiders. But tanks aren't really like.
It's not the vibe.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if there was like a weapon platform for Dark Eldar. It's not quite their vibe, but
like Craft Worlds.
Yeah, like I'm a sucker for artillery, as you guys may have noticed with all
you.
Yeah, I just don't. That doesn't feel very.
Hey, you played a game without it one time.
I saw an piece of artwork a guy did once of like a Dark Eldar weapon platform, and it looked really cool, and I could see it. Like it's like basically like a big hovering thing that floats around and shoots stuff.
Yeah.
I could definitely see
them
using like the shadow spinners, which are like the monofilament balls, because that's like a very painful thing to die to.
I'd want to see it strapped to a big old monster.
Controlled by the Beastmaster?
the strapping things to monsters is not really a Dark Eldar thing. Like they either cut them up and turn them into a different kind of monster. They don't use like beasts of burden. They just like throw them out.
It could be their own cut up. Yeah, unless they cut up a thing and made it their own unique beast of bourbon.
Beast of bourbon. I'm not an alcoholic. You're an alcoholic.
It'd be cool if there was like a single
monster
model, like massive homunculus abomination. Because like there's been, I think those have popped up in the lore before, like gigantic, like maybe even war dog sized, like flesh monsters that the homunculus have made. That'd be a cool thing. It'd be a nice. It'd fit the spot where like dreadnoughts and knights and stuff fit in other lists, and potentially give them some good anti-tank melee probably. But I don't know. I just want their full range to be available if I have nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just points to them getting a refresh, right? Is a lot of that stuff not being available.
They're like one of the armies that most needs it.
Yeah, I'm glad they're not on the roadmap because there's rumors of them getting a refresh, and I need that to happen next year. I don't need that to happen this year.
It will not happen this year. Unless it's like the end of the year.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, yeah.
If it happens at the end of the year, then that's you being mean to me in your nice period.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
okay, yeah.
Like, buy me a pub
I
sub.
failed that resolution, and I'll buy you a pub sub.
I have some thoughts about chaos also, but I don't know if you want to double up.
We can loop back around.
Jordo, what do you got?
I'm gonna loop it back around to Space Marines. We're talking about Dark Angels. So for refresh, my first one is Ezekiel. That seems like a pretty obvious one. That model came out the same year I was born. He is a very tiny little pewter miniature. Let me pull up a picture of him.
That's the librarian guy, right?
Yeah. I have one, and he's so cute. And all of the characters that they've been refreshing for Dark Angels so far have looked great. So I think this guy needs one. He's about like this big. He's a little tiny guy. So standing next to all of the other Space Marines, he looks a little goofy.
I feel like you can keep that same pose, same setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's proportioned like a dwarf.
He's proportioned like a dwarf a little bit, yeah.
You can take that same pose, same setup, and modernize it, and it would look sick.
Yeah.
You could. There's a sword brother in the Crusader kit that is almost
that same pose,
that exact pose.
So I have a kit bashed Ezekiel. That I kit bashed using a Phobos librarian. But like seeing how Azrael and Belial like turned out when they did the model refreshes, I think like an actual official one would look fucking rad. So yeah, I would love for them to do that.
Plus, Ryan, I'd be real sad if someone took a Black Templar to make a librarian out of.
Yeah, true.
It's sad. It's sad when you see a Black Templar used to make a trader and a psyker and a boot. It's just a double whammy, you know.
It's a very funny joke.
Makes me want to do it.
Yeah. It's a really very funny joke. Like the more you say it, the funnier it gets. Actually.
Sean, do you know what the joke is?
Anyway, next is for the refresh. I want to get the Ravenwing Black Knights, including like the command squad refreshed. These guys, they're really not that old. They came out in 2013.
They look like 80s though.
But they look like tiny little guys next to.
Yeah.
Yeah. They look like little tiny guys next to the Outriders.
Yeah, they're on those 3rd edition bikes.
Yeah. I have a bunch of these guys, but I would definitely buy new ones if there were new ones.
The Winged Hussar chopper aesthetic is absolutely perfect.
It's peak. It's fucking rad.
Yeah.
You know what else came out in 2013 though? It was Deathwing Knights. And Deathwing Knights just got a refresh. So I don't see any reason that these guys couldn't. Yeah.
I think they're getting.
heard rumors.
I think what
Rumors.
I've heard rumors about multi-part Outriders. And
not push
if
fit.
they do that, then it's just a hop and a skip to make an upgrade kit to Raven Wing, White Scars upgrade kit.
Well, I was so like this was I didn't put too much thought into it, but I was saying the other night I want a new Outriders kit. I want a just generic Space Marine bike command squad with a specific upgrade for Ravenwing and a specific upgrade for White Scars. Like, I think we can have a fucking bike command squad or like a bike captain for Space Marines. I don't know why we don't. Like, yeah, do Space Marines have enough units? Sure, they do, absolutely. But like, at least White Scars and Ravenwing need it. So it'd be dumb not to just have that available.
Yeah,
And
finally, for my new unit, it's new-ish. I want to see a 40k version of the Dreadwing Interrupters. This is basically your War Crimes unit. So back in the Horus Heresy, this was basically like, imagine how we have like the Devastator squad currently. But like even more war crimes because they use like rad missiles, rad grenades, stasis missiles, phosphex bombs, melta bombs, that kind of shit. So having a super war crimes unit in 40k, bringing back the Dreadwing a little bit, I think would be really cool. And especially with like the Lion coming back, I think reinstating a little bit more of the Hexagrammaton makes sense. And I just think that would be pretty rad. So they're like super devastators.
I have a Dark Angels unit that's not really a new unit, but I think that they should get it. The Corvus Blackstar.
Well, we have the Nephilim.
I know, but assuming that we're gonna lose some of that, right? Like, because we already have our suspicions about flyers. I don't think the Blackstar's going away. I think there's certain flyers that will stick around. Is the Nephilim a transport?
No.
Oh.
There's the anti-air version and like the anti-ground version.
Sure.
But there's no like transport version.
I just like the Blackstar. I think the Blackstar should be like a Space Marine generic. I think it's rad as hell. Yeah, do I love it being a Deathwatch specific? Sure, but like get rid of some of the shit flyers and replace it with a good flyer.
Yeah. Yeah. True. So that's what I got for Dark Angels. Sean, you had another one?
I have two, and they're both on the roadmap. So I'm gonna rapid fire them.
Okay.
Because one we already know we're not getting. So I'll give my disappointment first. Thousand Suns. I'm really disappointed. I wanted the fucking Castellax Archaea for 40k.
That big robot.
Yeah. The big fuck you robot. I want as far as refresh, the only thing I need refreshed is the Scarab Occult Terminators. I think they need to be true scale. They're too stumpy. And then give us a Hellbrute Osiren.
And I will. That's what it was called. Yeah.
And I will be very, very happy. Yeah, it was in my notes. I'll be very, very happy with an actual Hellbrute Osiren, or a Psychic Dreadnought of some sort. But sadly, we know we're not getting any of that, and I'm now we're more worried than ever that the Cult. Not yet. That's fair, but now we're more worried than ever that Cult Marines are losing their goodies. So,
yeah.
As far as other armies on the horizon that they can certainly easily slam dunk, Black Templars.
Yeah.
So Black Templars got a nice refresh last edition. We don't need a whole lot, but I got one complaint. I hate the Marshall kit.
Really?
I understand. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree. I don't hate it. This is not
I understand it's a reference to a model from old art, but like it looks okay. This is one of the models that's the opposite problem than what GW normally has. It looks good from that angle and that angle only. In my opinion.
I think it looks
And it looks pretty cool.
General. It's just I don't know,
Cape
something
is
about
a little
it.
much, but yeah.
That's just fitting to me.
It seems hard to like make my own. It seems like a named character model to me.
Monopose.
Yeah, I think that's
This is very monopose, right? It's not.
If I saw that on the table, I would assume it was a named character. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think it has a head option. Aside from the head option on the upgrade, the upgrade sprue has a head option for it.
That one right there.
Oh yeah, it's got the pipes option, which is the one from the old art, but it doesn't have a helmeted option.
It does not have a helmeted option.
Yeah.
No, aside from giving it the Crusader helmet from the upgrade sprue. As far as I'm gonna skip my other refresh unit, because I'm gonna see if y'all can guess it. My new unit is Sword Brethren and Terminator armor. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just give me a Black Templar version of the Deathwing Knights.
Guess your second refresh unit.
So what's my second?
Oh,
refresh?
Chaplain
it's not
Dreadnought.
a model.
It's a Chaplain Dreadnought.
Chaplain Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking Chaplain Dreadnought.
Yeah.
That's all. Bring it back, you cowards.
I agree. Bring it back, you cowards.
And give it to all Space Marines. I don't need it to be a Black Templar specific. Give it to all Space Marines, right? Like that's fine.
But let us take it as our like warlord.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a I don't remember if it functioned as a character in 9th.
It should.
Or in 8th, rather. Which was the last time we had it. Or if it was just an elite. No, it was a character. Yeah, it was. It was. But I don't know if you can make it your warlord or not.
Like Procession of Hate or whatever that detachment's called, the one where everyone's like chanting. That should have like an enhancement that allows you to make a Chaplain Dreadnought your warlord. That'd be fucking sick.
Like even if it was just specifically a Redemptor or Brutalis, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they slam dunk that guy. Yeah,
that guy?
I wish I wish I had a better picture of mine.
Yeah, post it in Discord. Post it in Discord, and everybody watching right now, join the Discord.
Because I will say, my Chaplain Dreadnought is better than anything GW's ever made.
It's true.
Your Chaplain Dreadnought does look very good.
Your Chaplain Dreadnought is so good that a GW employee asked if it was 3D printed, and you said no. It wasn't.
Because it's not.
Yeah, it's all kipeshed.
I remember you working on that. That was very cool.
Yeah. Post pictures in Discord, and everybody will see them. Ryan, did you have another one? I thought.
Yeah.
You did.
Okay. Chaos Space Marines. There's one thing I would refresh above all else.
Yeah.
That'd be Raptors.
Oh.
Those models are pretty old. They're tiny. And they need to split Raptors and Warp Talons into two different boxes. Because, like, they're two different things, and they try to make them blend in this kit. And it's just, it'd be better if they're separate. Because, like, especially for the Warp Talons. It'd be way better for the Warp Talons. What do you mean? Oh, well, in lore they are. So in lore, Raptors are like just Marines with jetpacks. The Warp Talons are essentially like possessed.
Yeah, they're flying possessed.
They're demonkin. But imagine how much cooler a flying possessed could look if it wasn't also trying to be able to be a regular Marine. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
Like they could have sick
Don't
wings
they have,
and like crazy claws,
like beaks and things, and
yeah, some of them have beaks,
just like weird shit growing.
In the Night Lords trilogy, the Warp Talons in their group are like hunched over, not even human proportions anymore. They walk on all fours. They have like double hinged legs and stuff. It'd be rad if those are separate kits and they were updated.
Possessed aren't sold in their own kit, are they?
No, they're one kit for both.
No.
They're very...
Possessed aren't. I don't think you can buy Possessed like as a unit. I think they're sold with something else.
No, yeah, you can. There's a 5-pack box of them.
Yeah, those guys. Imagine these guys with jetpacks.
Yeah. Give them wings and stuff. Kind of like the Gal Vorback from 30K look really cool.
Gal Vorback.
They have like wings and stuff. But anyway, split those up, refresh them. Like I built my own Raptors out of like Legionaries with jetpacks. from the Raptors kit because they just look better. I still use some of the Raptor parts because some of their hands are cool. But yeah, as far as new models for Chaos,
What?
I don't know.
Oh, there it is. There's
Yeah,
Argel Tall. Yeah.
Imagine
You'd be a good warp
squad of
talon.
dudes being as sick as that.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. I really like the corrupted armor style. Like not just like armor with flesh showing through, but like armor that's been
It's like cracked and fusing to the flesh and
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
This is one of the best examples of that like trope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an idea for like a new miniature and I forgot it. Wow, no. Doom Rider.
Doom Rider.
Bring back Doom Rider.
Real Emperor's Children.
I'm gonna have to make a winged Demon Prince Doom Rider proxy for my I almost said Thousand Sons. My Emperor's Children.
Thousand Sons, Emperor's Children. Yeah. Similar.
I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well,
I guess like a Trader Guard main battle tank would be fun, but I seriously doubt they'll do that.
I mean, I have one of those. I have multiple of them even.
So you openly admit your guard are traitors?
No, they're very loyal. They just use Trader Guard tanks.
Loyal to whom?
Don't worry about it. An emperor with at least 2 arms.
Two or more arms.
Yeah, and they're loyal to an emperor with 2 or more arms. At
minimum
least
2 arms.
Minimum 2 arms.
Epic Gamers.
Imagine being loyal to a one-armed.
Oh, mutilators! Yeah,
that'd be cool because that could go in World Eaters also, which I think could definitely use them.
Yeah, mutilators, and then the other thing that I forgot the name of.
Juggernaut Cavalry.
Nope.
Red Butchers.
I mean, yeah, that would be for World Eaters for sure.
Butcher
No,
Sturgeon?
It's a big, giant, fucking like mech robot thing.
Kaitan?
Tyler?
Nope.
Riptide?
Oh.
We'll get there one day.
Oh, are you talking about the thing that's the skull machine but with legs instead of treads?
Nope. You're talking. That's the Kaitan.
You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the giant tower that drives around and shoots skulls at people?
I'm gonna end it all.
Are you talking about a Hellbrute?
Nope. It's Hellbrute adjacent.
Is this
I'm
the
fully
Skull
forgetting the
Lord
name of it.
on treads with the skulls?
Is this that model that you filled?
Oh my
the
god,
tanks
it's
with
not even
blood,
in
but
here.
It's got legs instead of.
Oh
Are
no.
you talking about a Leviathan Dreadnought?
No.
Epic Gamer says he wants a new Hellbrute. I agree.
New Hellbrute would be
Clearly.
cool. Yeah.
Well, I can't remember the name of it, and I'll find it later.
Well, they can tune in next Wednesday, and you will remember it.
No, one of us said it. He's just too ashamed to admit it.
Blood Slaughterer! Blood Slaughterer! That's it!
Oh, are you talking about the thing? Are you talking about the thing that's the alt kit for the Vortex Beast?
No.
Somebody give Epic Gamer a reward.
Oh, the fuck is that?
That's cool.
That's a Blood Slaughterer.
No, it's closer to the fucking. What are the thing that Emperor's Children only got one version of and not both versions, even though the kit could be melee or range.
Oh, the
Mauler
Fiend. Yeah,
it looks like a Mauler Fiend.
Assuming the size is right, I could definitely see that being used as a Mauler Fiend.
There was that, and then there's another one that's like standing up. That's like similar vibes. That was also like a Forge World unit. That I can't remember the name of. Decimator? Can you still buy those?
They're in Legends.
Yep. That's the one.
Yeah, I like that thing a lot. That's just a Hellbrute, yeah.
Although, actually, I think those are like almost Armiger size, if I remember right.
They're
like,
pretty big. They're pretty large.
They're definitely like Leviathan Redemptor size at least.
Yeah.
You can run them with
yeah, Blood Slaughter is what I would really like.
Yeah, that's rad.
But yeah, GSC. Let's talk about GSC just for a second. I'll speed run these. GSC. I want hybrid metamorphs. Yeah, I would like a new character. Maybe like multiple new characters. No, an idea that I kind of had earlier was that so they sell. You can't just buy a patriarch by itself.
Yeah, it comes in a command squad, kind of.
It comes in this, the Brood Coven. I think this should just be one unit. Put it all together and make it one unit. It's like a command squad.
Or the option to have it as one unit, because you still want the guy to be able to go with GSC, Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
Not GSC, Gene Stealers.
Something.
Pure Strain, whatever.
Yeah, this is basically a command squad, right? So
Is it just me, or is the guy in the middle doing the think, Mark, think?
yes, and so
He is.
well, I guess we'll talk about this because the Patriarch is on my refresh list, and it is for that reason because he for one doesn't look kind of like as grandiose as I think a Patriarch should, and also yes, because he looks like the Think Mark Think meme.
Well, also he doesn't have a throne anymore.
He does not have a throne anymore. Correct.
You know, you do own a patriarch with a throne.
I know. I've been. I keep pulling it out, and I'm like, huh, I'll build this and paint this, and then I don't because I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah, that's fair. Can you run it as like one of the Psyker guys or something?
I don't
Is
know.
he too big?
He's probably too big for that, but I don't know.
Because he's not as big as the new Patriarch.
No, not as big as the new Patriarch. But like, there's a reason that every time I run a Patriarch, I hit bash it right to make it look cooler.
Yeah.
I had this one and I like put wings and like bug parts on him and stuff to make him look cooler, and then they came out with the Death Leaper, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use that now, and I did the same thing to the Death Leaper.
I might actually have a Patriarch line around here somewhere.
And I just got a Neurolictor, so yeah, I'm gonna maybe do that too.
Neurolictor.
We'll see. I hardly know her.
Make a little mural of Think Mark Think.
Think Mark Think.
A mural lictor?
Mural Lictor. My other refresh is hybrid metamorphs. I think that they just look too similar to standard acolytes.
Okay.
They just have.
Are they just an upgrade kit?
They literally just have different arms. I mean, it's all one box. It's not even like an upgrade kit. It's literally all the same box.
I do like the whip finger.
Yeah, like the parts are cool. I think that they could do more to make them look even more unique. They mostly just look like acolytes with different arms.
Ryan Whipfinger's
do a
my
little bit
favorite
more
James Bond villain.
Mhm.
Gross.
He doesn't get the respect that he deserves.
Mm-mm.
And
No respect.
finally,
No
for a new unit, I want a ranged weapon version of these guys. Like
So what,
What
like
kind of weapons?
5 heavy mining lasers?
like
Like the
heavy mining
Terminator
lasers and the
Gatling.
seismic cannons and whatever other kind of like mining tools and industrial equipment you can come up with, you know?
They should just have a sling, but
Like
they're
a giant like
cinder
fuck
block.
off like rivet gun, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that I think would be very cool. Alternatively, one that I've seen a lot of people talk about is having some kind of mech suit. Like a loader from Alien.
Like a load lifter.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
What about?
Because I mean,
what
it
about,
kind of.
But I think that is a good one for GSC. Yeah.
Because I mean,
I mean,
basically,
there was a
an
Sentinel loader
Invictor.
model. There was a Sentinel loader model at one
Yeah,
point. In Forge
There was, yeah.
Forge World.
Forge World.
what about a battle limo?
So yeah, the limo would also be very cool. I don't think it fits the modern aesthetic, but I would buy one for the memes.
But you could do
what about
something else
the-
that's got.
What about the drill?
yeah, that's my bonus option is the tectonic fractal, my beloved.
or like an actual model for the Terrax, like a 40k model for the a GSC model for Terrax.
yeah, like a deep striking transport kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tectonic fractal, my beloved.
Rip.
I think they should be able to use the tectonic fractal as like an uppy downy, you know? You get near it,
Well,
and then
like-
you can. It puts them into deep strike when you're near them.
You pick
Yeah,
like
I mean, even just
one version or another.
Yeah.
Even just reusing that drill bit, like the drill thing on like a tank or something, like they
Yeah.
got to make use of it somehow because they still
I'm
have
just
a mold
imagining-
for it. They didn't.
Like an unarmed truck that just has the drill bit on
Right.
top of it, like squashing the
Yeah.
cab, and it just like runs and rams a tank.
Just
Ugh.
drives right into an enemy tank.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, the rock grinder kind of already fills the niche of truck that runs into shit.
Well, maybe
Right.
the rock grinder should be better. They think of that.
It should be rock driller instead of grinder or something. I don't know. There's something there.
I hardly even know her.
Anyway, that's what I got. Y'all got anything else?
One more thing, yeah.
Drop pod needed to be refreshed for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. In packs of 2.
What the fuck? Anyway, what do you got, Zach?
This is not the way Games Workshop has decided that they want to make money anymore. But if it were like 1, maybe 2 editions ago, why the hell don't we have upgrade sprues for Dark Mech?
Yeah,
It's going to be a full army eventually.
Is it though?
yeah, that's I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Eventually, yeah.
But even if it is,
I think-
they don't need to do all new models. They can do some new models and upgrade sprues for the servitors on treads, upgrade sprues for the Stiltwalker guys.
I would want all new models.
I would too.
You think so?
I would want them, like, by the time 40k happens, I would want them to be, like, fully separate from AdMech as we know it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Like-
think it's more likely that they would ever end up getting like a couple CSM units rather than.
Yeah.
I think it's most likely they're going to get added to CSM.
Yeah,
I
feel
could see
you're
that,
right.
yeah.
You could make a Dark Mech army now, sort of. It just doesn't have.
I mean, Tabletop
all the
Tactics did
bells
it.
and whistles.
They have
Yeah.
a full, like, Dark Mech army, and it looks really fucking
Oh.
cool.
They did theirs as a reskin of the Mechanicus army, though, right? I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it has to
Yes.
be now.
I can't
I-
remember if they run them as Mechanicus or as CSM.
Or CSM.
I say they doesn't have to be. You could run a CSM army with little to no Chaos Marines in it and a ton of Demon Engines and like Trader Guard, and it would be more or less Dark Mech.
Or just write your own rules. Don't run them as anything. Write your own fucking rules. Who cares? We've done it before.
If I write my own Dark Mech army, I can run it on stream.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Wait, hold on.
But that's
Ask
the thing, though.
ask
is,
us before June. Ask us before June, and the answer is no. Ask us after June. The answer is yes.
I mean, it's just not going to be ready before June anyway.
Graham, guess the
great.
answer is
So then
no.
No, Ryan.
Wait, no, you have to be nice to me at the end of the year. So you got to say yes then.
Yeah, but that's not right now, is it? Huh? Oh, Ryan.
Oh,
Got 'em.
They have Forge Ruled rules for using a Dark Mech Tech Priest in CSM. I'll have to look into that.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
but
that
that's why
Legends?
we don't have them, is because GW doesn't do upgrade sprues for like cross faction anymore. They do only new models now,
Yeah,
which is why we don't have Dark Mech. If they still did that, we would have the faction.
it would be cool.
Well,
if there
I
was,
do-
like, an option from GW.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
do
you know,
think that we're
like,
at a point where
I'll take either, but we got nothing. So, like, all new models would be awesome. I love new models, but we don't have them.
yeah. I think it's probably not going to happen that we're going to get a full army refresh or full army for them for a while with how they're trimming down chaos and demons and stuff.
So I think that's part of why they've been trimming down armies, is because they're now at a point where we have to eliminate some of these units in order to make shelf space for new armies,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Maybe.
and I think some of the more recent new armies have suffered for it, for just the sheer size of the range and the sheer size of, they got four main game systems now, not counting box games. So
Yeah. I mean, my beloved Tau lost like 16 units if you count all the characters that got axed. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they are
I'd-
cutting aggressively.
I think the most likely scenario for us to get Dark Mech, the first thing we'll see, is probably like a kill team.
Yeah. And then you run it as a unit for
rules
CSM.
CSM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see a couple of elite units. Yeah, sort of like Vespids. Absolutely.
Yeah. I really
Just like
thought
really specific
Dark Mech
niche.
was coming like a year or two ago because Vashtor showed up. It was
Mhm.
like dudes like Daddy Dark Mech,
Yeah.
you know, and then nothing's come of it. So I was kind of like, huh, that's kind
They
of.
haven't really done anything with Vashtor since then. He's just
They
kind of
haven't.
like there.
This is
Well,
just
he
back
was
to
supposed
the,
to be. He was supposed to be in the Drukari versus Dark Mech box that other 2023 model was from.
True.
Conspiracy theory. Then it got pushed.
yeah. This is
It got
back to
pushed, and then they put a
10th,
bunch of those models in Forge World instead.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we've circled back around
Which
to
then they
baseless speculation. So,
Yeah.
what that
10th
means
edition is only
is
going to last one more year. Everybody's going to have to buy their codexes again. 10th edition is a delaying tactic.
any more conspiracies?
That's conspiracy theory. Yeah,
Any more?
that's mine.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Like, sub, join, hop in the Discord, all that good stuff. And have a great night. Goodbye.